Hey, welcome back. Let's talk about the fender situation and what I've decided to try to do there. And let's try to get some wiring done and move forward on the Cafe Racer. Welcome to Urban Monk TV. So as I mentioned last time we were talking about the fender, this one, stock fender, is pristine as far as the chrome is concerned. And I've rust treated the underside, so we're trying to hold off any corrosion there. But this thing is worthy of a restoration, and so I don't want to cut it. So what are we going to do? I went out on eBay and I found a really beat up plastic fender from a GS550, I believe, a 1983. Kind of a completely different bike, frankly. But the cool thing about this is it comes with this big metal piece to tie in the two fork halves to each other to give it the rigidity. And this thing is strong. This is this is going to do the trick. And then this plastic, one, it's a complete disaster. But it's all here, and what little minor damage there is, I can fix with a fiberglass repair, and I can cut this easily. I just think this is going to work out great. So need to modify this just slightly, and that'll give me the rigidity I'm looking for. And then I'll modify this and make this shorter. I think this actually goes this way, yeah. And we got a fender. So for the future. The other thing we got to do is run the wiring. So I've taken our stock wiring harness and have fished it up through the frame and down this way. It's very loose right now. You may recall many episodes I cleaned this thing up. And let's just talk about a couple of the connections that I'm going to make now and some of the areas where I'm going to either have to shorten or lengthen wiring or eliminate it altogether. So the first wire I wanted to concern myself with is coming off the points, and it runs down right out of the cover here underneath the frame. And if you recall in a previous episode, there are little pieces of metal, little clips that are into the screws that hold the oil pan on. And I've run that wire along there. It comes up here. There's actually a little clip in the frame for that wire. And then I've got it just loose here, and it comes up to where the points are where the coils are gonna live. And so coming off of the main wire harness, there are two wires, a white and a black, that I had labeled points. And sure enough, the two wires coming from the points are white and black. So just simply clipped those in together. I've already put them together off camera here, sorry. And then just made sure that these contacts are clean and that when they come together there's a nice solid click and it's not loose. So there's our points. Then on the coils there is a double plug here with a OW that's orange with white tracer that connects to both of the coils. So let's look on the bike. Sure enough, there is one that I labeled both coils, and it's a little dirty yet, but you can see that is indeed an orange wire, and you can kind of see the white tracer on it. So, and it is a double plug. So let's get our coils out. Here are my two coils. You may recall, if you've watched the entire series, it was some time ago that I had cracks in the casing here, and I actually used a two-part plastic epoxy to fill those in because these were functioning coils and not much has leaked out of them, so I'm going to keep using them. Anyways, one of these is for 1 and 4 and the other is for 2 and 3. We have to figure out which side of the frame rail that each of those go on, and that's in the wiring diagram also. Here you see on the left hand coil, this line comes over to number 4 spark plug, this one goes to number 1. So the 1 and 4 coil is on the left, and therefore by default the right coil will be the 2 and 3. I see now I actually had the foresight to put left and 1 and 4 on the coil itself, and I had forgotten I had done that. And then the coils are actually grounded to the frame on these tabs, and so because I've got paint here, I need to get a little sandpaper or something, get the paint off and get down to bare metal so that we've got a good ground for our coil. So just remove the metal, or sorry, remove the paint and expose the metal in both of those tabs. And the same thing on the other side. So as you're putting these components back on, just be careful about what has a ground to the frame and what doesn't. And if you painted your frame or powder coated it, make sure that you are getting a good ground. Sand that paint off. And now that we have spark plug wires, we may as well put some spark plugs in. B8ES NGK. And I always put anti-seize lubricant on spark plugs, on the threads. Get my wrench. Number 4. That's sunshine. Oh, I have to remove these threaded caps. They run without those. There. That's how it's meant to go. Take these little guys off. Probably easier to do off the bike when it's in your hand, but I'll get it. Alright, where are you? Number 3. Other side. Number 2. Okay, spark. So on the left we have an orange and white, that goes to both. And then we've got a white and a blue. White goes to left, blue to the right. Coming off of this coil, it's pretty easy. There's your orange and white. So we'll come down and we'll find, I'm going to run this up actually. Find our orange and white, and that's one of the 2 orange and whites. Plug that in. On the other side, where are you? Same thing. Orange and white. Okay. Then I've got a white and a black. The white is coming off the left, and I'm looking for blue. There you are, I bet. Yep. I'm sorry, I'm looking for white, and there it is, labeled coil left 1 and 4. So that was easy enough. White to white. Oh, I gotta clean that up. Give me a second. Just a little electric cleaner. I'm gonna put it on a rag here. Yeah, nice. Okay. White to white. And blue to the blue. Okay. Coils are hooked up. So we're just going to take these one at a time. Coils are done. Next one sticking out here is horn. Kind of a simple one, but it's got to be done. Let's do it. And here is my horn from when I painted it. I've still got the painter's tape on here. Looks pretty good. Not great. But I painted everything the same color as the frame, so I'm gonna guess this is 6mm or 8. Yeah, it's 8mm. Okay. And the horn lives right up under here, and there's a bracket that I painted. So the bracket just mounts right up under here, and then your horn lives right here. But a couple of things. One, I neglected to paint the bracket. I thought I had, and I just found it in a bag unpainted. So it's still the stock black, and I don't know, I mean, it's up underneath the gas tank. Probably not a big concern, but the other thing is there's a rubber grommet that goes in here. It's a kind of a specific grommet, and mine is completely fallen apart. It's in 2 pieces, and it's just a mess. And I guess I'd like to go see how much this part is first, because if I can replace that, then I may as well order it, get it on the way, and while I'm waiting, I'll paint the bracket. So the other piece of wiring that I'm going to do here in this episode, before we wrap this up, is the neutral, well, the gear position indicator. On the GS550, you had a gear position indicator that showed all 6 speeds plus neutral on the dash or instrument cluster. And it has this ingenious little thing that as this metal contact rotates with the gear position of the transmission, it'll go from neutral down to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. I just want neutral to work. I'm not going to integrate all of those other gear positions because that bit of electronica that was in the instrument cluster was just a bit too bulky for me to take out of there and try to work it into the clean kind of dash setup I'm trying to have. So I just want neutral, but to do that I need this whole thing, and I'll just be using one wire off of here, which I believe is this blue. Don't quote me on that yet. I will confirm that with the wiring diagram. But let me just wipe this down. It's a little dirty, and then we'll get this bolted on. So these guys are JIS. There is an O-ring here. This seems to be in fine condition, so I'm not replacing that right now. But obviously there is oil behind that. And it just winds down through this little, I don't know if you can see that. Here. Winds down through here and up, obviously. And then let me get it bolted on. And I should be in neutral now. So thanks you guys, I gotta wrap it up here. I know this is a short one, but we talked about the fender, we got our ignition coils wired up not only to the spark plugs, but then also, you know, to our wiring harness and down to our points. So we're gonna have spark, hopefully, and then we got that neutral or gear position indicator switch installed. I gotta cut it short because I don't have a lot of time this week, and right now it's actually Monday night after work, and I need to do some editing. I want to get a video out there for you guys before the weekend, because this weekend I'm going out of town with my family. So If you like what I'm doing, please give me the thumbs up, and if you'd like to become a monk, subscribe. Thanks for watching.